Global shipping is kind of like the invisible engine that runs our modern world. It's how we get pretty much everything moved across these massive oceans every single day. But this whole industry has a huge environmental secret. And, well, the bill is finally coming due. Let's get into it.
Okay, get ready for this number. Every year, the global shipping industry pumps 940 million metric tons of CO2 into the atmosphere. That's a number so big it's hard to even wrap your head around, and it puts the maritime industry right up there with the world's biggest polluters.
And what you're seeing here, this isn't some special event or a traffic jam. This is just a normal day on our oceans. It's this constant flow of traffic, and every single one of those little dots is a ship adding to that 940 million ton total. The problem is literally as vast as the sea itself.
So what's changed? Why this sudden urgency? Well, ship operators are now trying to navigate what you could call a perfect storm of new rules and regulations. The old days of out of sight, out of mind are completely over.
A massive wave of environmental regulation has just crashed down on the industry. Yeah, it started with just monitoring rules, but now, and this is the big one, the maritime sector is being added to emissions trading schemes, or ETS. Basically, think of it like a carbon market, where you have to pay for what you pollute. All of a sudden, every single ton of CO2 has a price tag attached.
But actually complying with this stuff, way easier said than done. Operators are hitting three huge roadblocks. First, these folks are ship captains, not environmental scientists. Second, their data is a total mess. It's scattered all over the place in different systems. And third, the regulations themselves are just a bureaucratic maze.
And listen, this isn't just a small problem for a few companies. A jaw-dropping 70% of UK ship operators admit they struggle with the technical side of monitoring emissions. Just let that sink in for a second. The huge majority of the industry is being asked to do something they just aren't equipped to handle.
So, how in the world do you solve a problem this big? This is where innovation comes into the picture. A new digital platform called SEAWISE was built specifically to tackle these barriers head-on.
So what exactly is SEAWISE? Well, in a nutshell, it's a system that builds a digital twin, a perfect virtual copy of a real ship. It then uses this twin to analyze the ship's environmental performance as it's happening, in real time, and turns all that complicated data into simple, clear advice you can actually use. The real power of the platform comes from three key innovations: integrating that digital twin we talked about, its ability to do what's called a real-time life cycle assessment, and using AI to give crews real decision support. Let's break those down.
First up, the digital twin. The absolute best way to think about this is like an incredibly realistic flight simulator, but for a ship's environmental impact. It pulls in live data from everywhere, the engine, the ship's route, even the weather, to create this complete moving picture of the ship's footprint at any given moment.
The second piece of magic is the real-time life cycle assessment engine. And this is a huge deal. See, most systems only measure what comes out of the ship's funnel. That's called tank to wake. But SEAWISE also calculates the well to tank emissions. It's like not just counting the exhaust from your car, but also the footprint of drilling the oil, refining it, and trucking it to the gas station. It gives you the true, full story of the environmental impact.
And this tech wasn't just built in some garage. It's the result of a really powerful UK-based team-up, combining cutting-edge AI software from companies like Digital Innocent with world-class maritime research from places like the University of Strathclyde.
Okay, so that's the tech. It's really cool. But what about the results? What does all this actually do for ships out on the water?
The results are pretty much immediate and, honestly, super impressive. Just by following the platform's AI advice on things like speed and routing, operators can cut their emissions by 8 to 13% right away. That's a massive win without changing a single piece of hardware on the vessel.
And of course, cleaner sailing is also smarter business. Those improvements in fuel use can add up to cost savings of £500,000 a year for just one medium-sized vessel. Now that's a powerful reason to go green.
Beyond just the fuel, it tackles that mountain of paperwork. SEAWISE can slash the time spent on manual compliance reporting by more than 65%. This gets crews away from their desks and lets them focus on what they're actually there to do: sail the seas safely.
And the impact here goes way beyond just individual ships. For the UK, this is a huge strategic win.
The project keeps valuable intellectual property at home, it creates high-skilled tech jobs, and it really solidifies the nation's reputation as a leader in clean maritime tech, which ties right into their national strategy.
So what's the big picture here? What does a tool like SEAWISE really mean for the future of shipping? This is about more than just checking a box for compliance. It's about totally changing how the industry works.
The whole mission is to democratize this powerful analysis. It's a bit of a buzzword, I know, but what it really means is taking a tool that used to be only for PhDs and specialists and putting it right into the hands of the crew on the bridge. You know, the people who are making the actual decisions every single day.
At the end of the day, that's what SEAWISE does. It takes this chaotic flood of data, makes sense of it all, and delivers simple insights that help crews sail smarter and cleaner. Not just once a year for some report, but in real time, on every single trip they take.
Which kind of leaves us with this one big fascinating question. For an industry that has connected our world for thousands of years, can this cutting-edge digital tech help it steer through what is probably the single greatest challenge it's ever faced? The course is being set right now, and for global shipping, the journey into a cleaner future is really just beginning.